thing was found. And
Silicon Valley resident Yasser Afifi has had a troublesome relationship with the FBI after finding the GPS tracking device they placed on his car.
I would consider myself a Arab Muslim American, born and raised here in California.
Cleared of any wrongdoing, Afifi says it was put there without a warrant and without reason. He's now suing the FBI for racial profiling.
I feel like I've been racially profiled, and I'm fitting a certain profile for the FBI, and it's basically their ticket to bother me for the rest of their life.
An hour's drive north to San Francisco, and the issue of profiling isn't just an isolated incident. It's become a city-wide problem, prompting high-level meetings with city government, the police department, and civil rights groups, especially as it relates to counterterrorism.
But I will tell you that we've never had less than 2 officers assigned to the Jttf.
At the center of the controversy is the Jttf, the Joint Terrorism Task Force. It's an agreement between cities and the FBI on how to conduct counterterrorism. The Sfpd joined after 9/11, but in 2007, they signed a secret MOU, or Memorandum of Understanding, with the FBI. That secret agreement eliminates any civilian oversight and the application of Sfpd procedures when conducting an investigation. As a result, San Francisco police officers, part of the Jttf, can engage in a variety of intelligence gathering and surveillance activities that are not allowed under state and local laws. That includes surveilling individuals or groups, even if they haven't committed a crime.
But it is, in fact, the difference on whether or not an officer can go witch hunting and go looking for a criminal act, or whether or not there has to be a criminal act that they're specifically looking at.
What's more, cops assigned to the Jttf are paid for by the San Francisco Police Department, but they're not allowed to discuss their work with the department or their immediate supervisors. A red flag for groups like the ACLU.
So the idea that the FBI would try to assert not only that we can enter into a secret agreement, but they can prevent local transparency under local and state sunshine laws is truly outrageous.
We have very strict policies in the San Francisco Police Department.
Police Chief Greg Sir has defended his department, saying they have rules in place to protect residents from any civil rights abuses. But the MOU supersedes local laws, and it's still in place. Through the Freedom of Information Act, the group known as the Coalition for a Safe San Francisco has learned of patterns of anti-Muslim police training, as well as incidents of racial profiling, ethnic mapping, and police harassment.
Allahu Akbar.
Much of it is directed at members of the city's South Asian and Middle Eastern communities.
Since 9/11, Arab, Middle Eastern Muslims, and South Asian communities have lived in fear due to the creation of overbroad policies that infringe on the civil rights of all U.S. residents.
At a press conference before Tuesday's Board of Supervisors meeting, the coalition outlined what they're proposing, an ordinance that changes how the Sfpd conducts counterterrorism. It demands that the department adhere to local and state laws, no more secret agreements with the Fed, and finally, codifies into law local intelligence policies and applies them to the Jttf.
Profiling folks based on where they worship or their identity, I think, is problematic.
The group's biggest support comes from Supervisor Jane Kim. Kim introduced the ordinance at the Board of Supervisors meeting, hoping that the Sfpd can continue to work on counterterrorism, but without jeopardizing the rights of innocent civilians.
I understand that the government needs to investigate crime, but nobody in my family, nobody in my community has done anything wrong, and we deserve to have our privacy protected. This ordinance ensures that.
The ordinance will now be tabled for a mandatory 30-day review period. It will then be put towards committee hearing and be back before the Board of Supervisors for a full vote in the middle of March. In San Francisco, Ansar Hassan, Ilu Media.